Hello everyone, my name is Sander and I'm gonna review the Cinebar 4.1 from Teufel. I no clue how to pronounce it. Overall the products from Teufel seem pretty good finished, seem really high in quality. Of course nearly everything is made out of plastic, but it seems really sturdy and it will definitely last you a while. The soundbar itself is really slim and it has several features on the back, which are the HDMI in. Also they support ARC. The nice thing about ARC is you can actually use your remote from your TV to control the sound volume. So you don't need separate remotes to control the audio. Now you can just do everything on one remote. Besides, of course, connecting to Bluetooth, because you still need the Teufel remote for that. Further on the back you have micro USB port for firmware updates, but till this date there's still no update, so I guess the product is really well built or they just don't care about updates. But I'm guessing the first one, because overall my experience is pretty good. And further on the back you got a 3.5mm aux input and a optical input. The only thing I dislike about this soundbar is that it actually powers by a separate power adapter. Instead of it already being built in, you have like a brick outside of it. And if you don't have a lot of space, this might be an issue, but I got a big mess behind my TV setup, so I can just put it there and just forget it. But if you don't have a lot of space to put your cables or whatever, this might be a real problem for you. And further with all the setup you get of course a T6 subwoofer, and the subwoofer is nice and compact, which allows you to put the subwoofer underneath your couch for even more minimalism in your setup. But of course if you don't have space underneath your couch, you can still put this near your TV or in front of your room if you prefer that. And with the set you also get two effect speakers, which are of course for the surround sound to the left and right of you. And the only issue I have with these speakers is they include a wide 4-meter cable. And of course if you're gonna mount this on a wall, a white wall, this is the best solution. But if you have any other colors than white on your wall, this is gonna be a hideous experience. So I wish you had more freedom in the choice of color for your cable. But if you're unable to mount these speakers on the wall, you actually have to buy a stand for your speaker, and a pair actually costs 70 bucks extra. The thing is with the stand is it looks good, it's robust, it offers really good quality. But the only thing is you cannot integrate the cable within the stand, because these speakers don't allow you to remove the power cable from it. And since the stand is actually black, you will see the white cable running along the stand, which is just hideous. I wish they had another solution for this, but for now, hideous it is. And an important thing to mention is the effect speakers together with the T6 subwoofer are actually connected wirelessly to the soundbar. Of course you still have to power them on via cable, but the connection is wireless, which makes the setup so much cleaner and nicer. So the setup, is everything really easy to set up, or is it just a big hassle and just hours of time to make this actually work? I can say it's really easy. So what you want to do is power both devices on, and then you go in the menu on the soundbar, go to speaker, navigate to external sub, and go to pairing, and then just simply pair the device. Also make sure to click the pairing button on the subwoofer. Connected. That's it. That's all. It's really easy. You can set this up within a minute even, and it's lovely. It's a blessing. So now of course the most important part of it all, the sound quality. I mean, the Cinebar on its own, the soundbar on its own is pretty depressing. The audio is really flat and there's really not any bass to it. But of course, Teufel only sells this Cinebar together with the subwoofer. So after installing the subwoofer, you can really notice the sound improvement of everything. It's just, it is so much better to install the subwoofer with it, and it really makes the whole experience awesome.
I'm starting to become very paranoid
because he knows everything about me. He's a professional.
I lent him money. $30,000. $140,000?
$250,000. That's not what I signed up for.
This must just be the tip of the iceberg. I didn't want him to get away with this. And that gets me going.
Who's gonna stop him? I had to stop him. I know that people were gonna judge me. Am I ready?
I'm starting to become very, very paranoid.
Because he knows everything about me. He's a professional.
I lent him money. $30,000. $140,000?
$250,000. That's not what I signed up for.
This must just be the tip of the iceberg. I didn't want him to get away with this. And that gets me going.
Who's gonna stop him? I had to stop him. I know that people were gonna judge me. Am I ready?
And I was testing out this feature on this soundbar, which is called Dynamore, to see if that actually changes the whole scenario. And I must say the Dynamore setting is really awesome for movies. Let's get that clear. For movies, you get such a more surround feeling with the Dynamore setting on than it's off, and it makes the whole experience way better. But the only place where Dynamore actually sounds pretty bad at is music. So if I'm gonna play music via Spotify on Bluetooth, it sounds pretty hollow and it doesn't sound as rich as it is without the Dynamore features. So for movies, I can really recommend it as it makes you more immersed into it. But for music, I would just recommend turning it off. Thankfully, on the remote, it has a special Dynamore button, so you can simply press it and it's already shut off. So you don't have to go through the entire menu. But of course the Cinebar on its own doesn't fill up your room with nice clean audio. And if you want to surround yourself with audio, you have to use Dynamore, but Dynamore is making the sound quality somewhat worse, so I wouldn't recommend it. But now adding the effect speakers eliminates the awful sound quality of Dynamore and now creates just nice clear audio around you and makes the whole experience just so much better. Does it make it much better with movies? Yeah, I mean, you hear all kind of sound effects around you and swishes and swooshes, and it's just, the experience is awesome and I can really recommend it. It sounds so nice. One thing I did notice with the Bluetooth connection is it easily gets distorted. So when you put your phone behind a couch or simply in your pocket somehow, it already gets distorted. Even though the range is simply just, what is it? It's like 3 meters, 2 meters away, so that shouldn't be the problem, but somehow connection isn't as stable as I would like it to be. So in conclusion, do I recommend you buying this setup or should you maybe look elsewhere? Honestly, coming from an €80 soundbar, the whole experience, the immersion has changed so freaking much. It's an eye-opener how much audio can change your immersion with movies. First I always thought the image quality was the most important factor, but now after getting this setup, boy, I was wrong. It's definitely audio, and I think this setup is freaking expensive. Let's be honest, this thing is expensive as heck. €750 is it's a lot of money, and I'm a student, so it's a whole lot of money for me. But still, it's just, the quality, it's so nice. The bass is so rich and deep. It's really like you're in a cinema, but at your home. Of course, I don't have the biggest room out there. Let's be really honest. So the distance from the TV to my couch is about 5 meters, so that's not a whole lot. So for me, this whole experience is just huge. I love it. But I really do think if you have a bigger room, but I really think if you have like a big ass living room, your difference may actually change. But for small rooms, this whole experience is just tremendous. I love it, and I really recommend you buying this whole setup. But of course, this setup has its downsides. The only downsides I could think of is simply the fact that the effect speakers have a white cable and it doesn't go integrated with the stand, and the fact that you have to buy a different stand for it is just stupid. But further, this whole setup, I absolutely love it, and I didn't think it would have such a big impact on my whole movie watching experience, but it did, and I can simply recommend you this setup. And that's pretty much it for the video. Like if you like this video, subscribe of course if you would like to see more of my content, and I would like to see you guys soon again in a different video. So stay tuned and bye bye. Of course, if you have questions, below there's a comment section. Let me know what you think of this video, and bye bye.